Great morning, happy Saturday. Our reader is about to log in. A little bit of technical issues, Mr. Dave Gibbs. But meanwhile, let's continue to invite. I hope everyone is enjoying this beautiful Saturday. We're 2 minutes after the hour, so meanwhile, we get position here. Yeah, let's continue to invite folks. Great to see you here, Cassandra. Great to see you here, Dr. G.W. Parker, James Rowe, Lovey, Martha, and myself. All right, I'm going to continue to invite while we all do the same. We'll be right back. We'll continue to play some music.
Good morning, everyone. It's 8:34 here in the Central Time District or Zone District, and I know it's 9:34. Um, Fernando, can I go ahead and start the screen share? Is that okay with you?
Mr. David Gibson, good morning. Happy Saturday for sure. You are the co-host today.
All right, sir. Let me find the screen I need, and we will begin. Uh, let's see. All right, let's do. I've got too many windows open. I should have called them, closed them all before I got on the call. But anyway, since it's just family here, you guys can bear with me for a moment, can't you? All right, so there's a client. You don't need to see that. Yeah, all right. And there's the Zoom and well, week here. There we go. All right. Thank you very much for your help this morning, gentlemen. That would be as the window closed. Oh boy. That's yeah. All right. Now the window's open again. Let me ask if can everyone, well, now I can't see you. Well, let me see. Let me do this. Okay. Um, if I could get the chat, or if no, can somebody just say, can you see the book?
No, we're not able to see the book.
Okay, then.
We see a sharp man on the screen.
Okay, hold on one second. All right, let me get this back open. Don't you just love technology when it works? Share. Gotta push the share button. There we go. How about now?
All set.
It's
All
part of
right,
your
great.
screen, yes.
All right, and now I can see you guys as well. Hey, this is great. This is great. All right, move you over here so I can hit the right move button. We're on chapter two, according to Mr. Wilner this morning. Hey, stop that. All right, we want to make uh zoom in. There we go. All right. Not that much. There. This is interesting. I've never used this flip HTML before, so I'm using my okay, got it. There we go. Okay, admit somebody. I use the plus sign. It brings up another little, what does this do? That's a voice. Never mind. All right.
Dave,
So I want,
I'll say that
there
that
we
was the
go.
tricky part last week as well. There's not in betweens. It's either all large or small,
Right.
but it
Yeah,
doesn't allow you to adjust it as nicely
I
as we'd like to.
see. Okay. Well, we're gonna do it because it's let me do this. Oh, now it's whoa. Hmm. Admit. In one of the other co-hosts admit folks for me, please?
I got you.
All right, thanks. All right, now we're in chapter one. Let's go to chapter two. There we go. Maybe
Perfect.
I can do it this way. We're okay. We figure this thing. That's leaders are readers, and that's what we do. So let's get started because I think I can see that screen as soon as I move you guys over to the side. That's that banner. Okay, now you come on, move. Oh, there you are. All right, perfect. I think we are really ready to rock and roll now. All right, redefining the year. Most people and most organizations, for that matter, don't lack ideas, whether they're effective marketing techniques, sales ideas, cost cutting measures, or customer service enhancements. There are always more ideas than you can effectively implement. The breakdown is not in knowing, but in applying. And Eric actually read this quote last week by Henry Ford that says you can't build a reputation on what you're going to do. That is so true because what this is telling us is that there's, what do they say? The most I forget how the term that they use when they say this quote, but the most $1 million or $1 billion ideas you would never guess where they're located, but it's the cemetery because a lot of people or most people don't ever on the great flashes of brilliance that they have or the great ideas because they for some reason they don't think they'll be implemented, they don't think they have what it takes to put it into effect. Whatever the reason may be, those dreams and brilliant ideas die with them, and that's sad because this it would help not only them personally, but just think about the good it would do to others to get those ideas out in the marketplace so that other people can benefit from it. This is why we're here today at this time. So one of the things that gets in the way of individuals and organizations achieving their best is the annual planning process. As strange as this is going to sound, annual goals and plans are often a barrier to high performance. And that is strange because annual goals are what your, or at least when I was in corporate America, that's what your bonuses were based on. That's what your review was based on, is how much progress or how much success you had had over the year. I'm not saying that annual goals and plans don't have a positive impact. They do. There's no question you will do better with annual goals and plans than without any goals or plans. That's true. However, we have found that this annual process inherently limits performance. Hmm. As we worked with clients over the years, we noticed an interesting pattern emerging. Most of them believed, either consciously or unconsciously, that their success and failure was determined by what they had achieved over the course of a year. They set annual goals, created annual plans, and in many cases broke the goals down into quarterly, monthly, and sometimes even weekly plans. But in the end, they evaluated their success annually. That trap is what we call annualized thinking. And Eric talked about this before, and now we're into the part where the book is telling us to discard that annualized thinking. Let me ask this to the group: is anybody else still working in corporate America at this time? If you come off mute and just chime in, that would be great.
Let me unmute everyone. David, give me a quick minute.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I could do that, couldn't I? Since I'm the host. All right, direct me to that particular button, Fernando, if you would.
I'm
Showing the
actually
folder.
helping you right here. So you
Okay,
can
cool.
ask the question again, and we should have everyone unmuted
Okay,
just about now.
perfect. So the question is anyone else still working in corporate America today while you build your MWR business? Nope. From
Microphones are
Eric.
open.
He's an independent entrepreneur. We knew that. Thanks, Eric.
Same here, David.
Wow, everybody's independent. I know Monifa's out there on the track getting her mail thing on, so that's not really corporate. Well, it is. I mean, she's working a job for the government, and I don't know if postal employees actually set goals like we did when I was with a international corporation and break it down into departments and so on and so forth. But we shall go on. We're going to discard annualized thinking. It says at the heart of annualized thinking is an unspoken belief that there is plenty of time in the year to make things happen. In January, December looks a long way off. Eric, are you sure we didn't read this last week? It sure sounds familiar.
Someone else wants to chime in. That's what I thought, that it is possible that we got this far.
I think it is.
But
I thought we covered chapter 2 last week. We should be on chapter 3 today, shouldn't we?
okay, my
Chapter three.
bad.
Thank you, Dr.
Yeah.
Parker. All right.
I
So
read 1, Eric read 2. Now, David, you should be on 3 this week.
thank you,
That
sir.
makes sense.
All right. That does make sense.
Senior moment.
Davis.
It never
Okay.
hurts to go at it again, David. Great job.
Yeah,
To
I
me, it
know.
sounded new. I
But
picked up a
boy,
few
it
more
sure
pieces.
sounded the same. So I was like, I heard this before. Now, this is even better. The emotional connection. Okay. So effective execution isn't complicated, but it's not necessarily easy either. In fact, most people in companies struggle to execute well. Execution invariably requires taking new actions, and new actions are often uncomfortable. We know that from our MWR training and participation that the success and our growth lies outside of our comfort zone. When faced with a course of action that includes difficult or uncomfortable tasks, the short-term costs of taking action can seem so much greater than the long-term benefits of reaching the goal. Because of this, individuals and entire organizations often abandon both the task and ultimately the entire strategy. We have found from experience that to execute successfully, it is essential to have a strong emotional stake in the outcome. Without a compelling reason to choose otherwise, most people will take the comfortable actions over uncomfortable ones. The issue is that the important actions are often the uncomfortable ones. In our experience, the number one thing that you will have to sacrifice to be great, to achieve what you are capable of, and to execute your plans is your comfort. The secret to living your life to its potential is to value the important stuff above your own comfort. Therefore, the critical first step to executing well is creating and maintaining a compelling vision of the future that you want even more than you desire your own short term comfort, and then aligning your shorter term goals and plans with that long term vision. Think about what you truly want to achieve. What legacy do you want to create? What do you want for yourself and for your family? What do you want spiritually? What level of security do you seek? What level of income and fulfillment do you want from your career? What interests do you wish you could pursue? And what do you really want to do with the time you have been allotted? If you are going to perform at a high level, take new ground, and be great, then you better have a vision that is compelling. In order to achieve a level of performance that is greater than your current performance, you will need a vision of the future that is bigger than the present. You must find a vision with which you are emotionally connected. Without a compelling vision, you will discover there is no reason to go through the pain of change. And then our quote, which I want to stop here and let anyone who would like to voice their thoughts and insights on this particular passage. Behind every impossible achievement is a dreamer of impossible dream. Thoughts, anyone? All right. Well, I'll share what when I read this that just now, this reminds me of what when we onboard someone and when we know that in order to get us through that next income producing activity, we have to have a compelling why, because without it, the activity that needs to take place won't get done if we don't if because those days, those dog days, those gloomy days, those days when everything is not going well is we just don't feel like it because we are human. We all have that those days or those times during the day when we're just not feeling it. But those are the times when our why, or like it says here, when we get that emotional connection to our goal or dream, hits us and says, wait a minute, you know what you want for the future. Let's get it done. Vision is the starting point of all high performance. You create things twice, first mentally, then physically. The biggest barrier to high performance is not the physical manifestation, but the mental creation. You will never outpace your mental models. Vision is the first place where you engage your thinking about what is possible for you. You must be clear on what it is you want to create. Most people focus primarily on their business or career, but business is just part of life, and it is actually your life vision that gives traction and relevance to your business. That is why we begin with your personal vision, what you want your life to look like in the future. After that is established, we move on to what your business needs to look like in order to align with and enable your personal vision. I like that. The more personally compelling your vision is, the more likely it is that you will act upon it. It is your personal vision that creates an emotional connection to the daily actions that need to take place in your business. In order to tap the incredible power of your vision, you need a future that is bigger than the present. If you're going to create a breakthrough, if you're going to reach the next level, you will need to move through fear, uncertainty, and discomfort. It is your personal vision that keeps you in the game when things become difficult. A compelling personal vision creates passion. Think about something that you are passionate about, and you will always find a clear vision behind it. If you find you're lacking passion in either your business or in a relationship, it's not a crisis of passion. It's a crisis of vision. We will show, oops, sorry guys. We will show you how to craft a compelling personal vision and a business vision that aligns and supports your life goals. The first step is to create a personal vision, a vision that clearly captures and articulates what you want in life. The personal vision should define the life you want to live in all areas, including spiritual, relationships, family, income, lifestyle, health, and community. The personal vision creates the foundation for an emotional link to your business and career objectives so that there is a strong alignment between what you pursue in your business and the life you desire to live. And I'm going to pause here. Does anyone want to chime in
I
here?
would like to, this is Eric Wilner, and I like to add one important thing is a vision that is not shared is weak. So it is important that if I have a strong vision of what I want to accomplish at the moment, that if I share that with a worthy friend or with family, then my strength of the vision increases. And the vision no longer is a vision anymore, but it is a image or a sign of what already happened because I already committed it.
Very
So
good.
if you consider that thought that a vision must be shared with worthwhile people or trusted people or people that will support you. Thank you.
And Mr. Wonder, when you find that you share the vision with those trusted people, do they obviously they're well, not obviously, I should ask you, do you find that they will encourage you in your journey and also hold you accountable too?
That is a very important factor. Obviously, the person was the individuals, or more than one, that I share my vision are people that I am sure will encourage me. I am sure that they would want me to be successful and that they will do if they have a part, at least in a I would say personal way, will tell me go, keep going. The next the next step, you will achieve it. And
Right.
and in this way, the vision goes from an idea or something ethereal to something concrete like steel.
Yeah, see, even the Bible says, and I don't want to get spiritual, but you just made me what brought to mind the scripture in Ecclesiastes that said a bond of three cords is not easily broken. So it helps to have that support from a loved one or a trusted friend, like you said, that can help you. And it goes on to say that when one falls down, the other can pick them up. They can support because we are going to have those down days. It's just a part of life. Life is challenging, and when it comes to achieving our goals, it also helps us to know that I told Eric Wilner that I was going to be at this level by this time, and he's going to hold me accountable. I can trust him to do that. So thank you for sharing that, Mr. Wilner. Brother Parker, I see you came off mute.
Yes, sir, David. Listen, I'm piggybacking off Mr. Wilder's comments and right on, spot on to be exact. See, I think the book says whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, he can achieve. Mr. Wilder talks about seeing it first, believing it. If you can visualize it, if you can see it, all you need now to do is put the action behind it. You'll have the strength to find a way to do it. And that support he talks about with family and friends that believe in the vision that you painted, I mean, just helps you or reinforces it and helps you make it real. Now you're held accountable. Let's go get this thing done. This vision that you see, this vision that God has given you, this vision that you've created in your mind now can become a reality. Why? Because you've already done it. If you can see it, you can do it. That's the beauty of this thing, man. You can create life as you want it to be. The Bible says, speak as if these things are already so. And
It is
that's the
so.
power that we possess. And I think that's the piece that most people miss. But man, that's the page I'm on right now. I'm telling you, I'm on a different level, David. I'm walking a different walk. I'm talking a different talk because I've seen this thing, man. I feel it. I know it. I see it manifesting itself right before me. I'm telling you, man, I'm speaking these things as if they were and they become reality. They become reality. It's real. Mr. Wilder, thank you so much. You've awakened a giant this morning.
I love it. I can hear the passion in your voice because we're built that way. We've gotten everything. One of my affirmations is that I'm created for a purpose and I have everything I need to grow and to be successful. It's already here. All we have to do is access it. And once we can get that emotional connection, as the book is telling us, once we get that vision, then everything else has to line up to it. Anyone else? Lynn?
Mr. Gibson,
Sure.
Yes,
the
sir.
real quick, as Mr. Wilder was alluding to vision, it really, I simplified the kind of connection when he was talking about being a driver, having your, windshield, your rear view mirror, and then you want to be able to, if you're taking a road trip, you want it to be a fun experience. And my wife tends to do those road trips all of a sudden, right? We're going somewhere, but we believe in her vision. And it's
Okay.
always fun, we look at, and she makes us, as we drive, take those road trips, she makes us visualize the mountains. Hey, quit being on the phone, look at the mountains, look at this area. So we're buying into a dream, enjoying the process of where we're going. So, and it connects with what Dr. G.W. Parker said. What is your vision? Do you make it fun? Who would you like to have in your surroundings, as your passengers, right? As you're enjoying the process of a trip. And I think, and I know for a fact that the responsibility we all carry is to make the vision fun. Yes, there's difficult moments, as you alluded to, David. It's difficult moments, but if you make the process fun by being the influencer of that decision, you start to make your team and your surroundings, become eventually drivers of a road trip, right? So I think everything starts within yourself. And if you are in peace with the vision of where you're headed, you're going to have those obstacles. And then, as long as you have that good energy and you get connected to your surroundings, it becomes enjoyable. Those painful moments become very enjoyable. Why? Because, as you alluded to earlier, we all are going to have difficult moments. But the thing is, are we going to respond or react through those
There
difficult
you go.
moments?
I like that. Lynn?
Sure. If I can just pivot off of what Fernando just mentioned, pretty much that's the direction that I would have gone. Because listening to Mr. Wilner, listening to Gerald, listening to yourself, we got to sometimes play devil advocates here. We consider ourselves leaders, we're readers and we're forward thinkers, but the majority of the people don't have a why. They're so busy living. So I like what Fernando said, and just even he and Martha, doing the role playing. So I think we've got to get to the point to where we don't browbeat people as far as what their why is, but as we're delivering, we got to constantly be creating vision and then working with those individuals to massage what their why is and what their dreams are because they're just so beat up. And then we can get them to this point. We speak about just, and for instance, and all of us aren't in the company itself, but we speak about, for instance, the revenue sharing plan up to, 500 and some, 5 million. The mind can't even conceive that. So 600 for some people is even a stretch. I'm not being a naysayer. I'm just looking at it, solving for X here. And I just had a pivotal moment this morning, and especially when Fernando came in, and we've got to start role playing on that, getting people to the place to where they can dream again and even have a vision or a why, because their why might just be to keep the lights on, much less, where I want to take a trip. So that was just a pivotal moment for me. So when it comes to the brain and when it comes to the vision, as we're delivering, be it through training, be it through presentation, we have got to get to the space of creating. And now that we're going to be doing some, extensive training on the weekends, we've got to do role playing as well. And I love the way Martha and Fernando are doing it.
Well, Lynn, when I read that previous page, the thing that jumped out of my mind about first you see it twice. You see it mentally first, and then it becomes a physical manifestation. And isn't that the great? You mentioned that we're all in the company, so I'm just going to have to say it. Look at the title of the company or the name of our company, the one
Exactly.
that we've planted our flag with. Make wealth real, because for even those of us that are dreaming about becoming wealthy, now we have the tools and the vehicle to make wealth real. Because that's what it's all about. We don't want to just dream. We don't, because like the previous quote in the last chapter is that we can't build a reputation on what we're going to do. The reputation comes because people see what you are doing, what you have done, not the future. The future, nobody knows. And for instance, when we get to tomorrow, it's not going to be tomorrow anymore. It's going to be today. So that's why we have to have a vision that encompasses our daily activities so that we can reach those other far-reaching goals that are going to build the life that we want to live, that we desire to live. Not somebody wants to put us in a box or live or have us live some other life. It's the one that we decide that we want so that we'll be our best selves, that will enhance our lives to the max. So, anyone else?
I like that. But what I got from what you just said is, even if, we provide assignments or whatever the case might be, whatever book that we're reading and holding ourselves accountable. Pardon my voice, but I am in Arizona. But, helping those individuals to establish their why or their dream is to take them through some action tactics of daily activities so that muscle can be exercised and they're beginning to dream again and establish their why.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
thank you.
No, thank you. Your business vision is most powerful when it is developed in light of your personal vision. The reason so many people fail to follow through when things become difficult is due to this lack of connection with their personal lives. Your business objectives are not the end in themselves, but the means to an end. Too often, managers and associates plan for business success, but fail to connect with the real power source that will enable them to achieve that success. In essence, the personal vision is the reason why we work in the first place. Man, this is great. Once you understand the linkage between your life vision and your business success, you can define exactly what level of income or production your business must deliver in order to support your complete vision. Vision provides you with that line of sight, that emotional link to help you overcome the challenges and execute. When the task seems too difficult or unpleasant, you can reconnect with your personal objections and vision. I should say objective, but it says objections. It is this emotional connection that will provide you with the inner strength to forge ahead in spite of any difficulties, thus enabling you to achieve your dreams and desires. And don't you love it when the book, after we have the discussion, says exactly what we just said? That you got to have the why first, because that burning why will get you over those dog days or that time when things become difficult, as we know they were. It's not a if statement that things are going to become challenging for us. It's a when. So what do you do when the person that you invited to see the presentation doesn't show up? What's your reaction to wanting to be at a certain level by the end of the month? And when it's the day before, you're still several steps away. What do you do then? Do you just give up, saying you'll never make it? Like Eric read last week, is that what a lot of people do? Is that if they don't see an end in that last quarter, talking about the corporate folks who do the annualized goals, they get really geared up and fired up in that last quarter because they know that Christmas bonus is based on what their end of the year results are. But then if they see that for whatever reason, a life event or health issues knocks them off their path, they give up for that year and they just say, I'll do it next year. Is that the way we want to do? We want to live our lives? Is that the way we want to build our business? I don't think so, especially after what we read with Dr. Parker's book. This is as everyone already knows, Onif and Eric, thank you very much for bringing this into our knowledge base. That this is just reinforcement of what we've already talked about several in the last several weeks on how to get where we need to be to get over that hump of being broke. And like you said, Lynn, the compensation plan is so rich and robust. A lot of people look at it and say, yeah, right. Me making $3,000 a week, a day? What? Are you kidding me? No way. And that's right here. There is nothing stopping any of us who are all residents in this country, as messed up as it is, but it's still the country that offers you the most freedom to build your financial lives the way that you want to. Nobody's stopping you unless you're doing something illegal. There's no obstacle in your way except what you either put in your way or see in your way because you see it as an obstacle rather than a challenge. So, anyone else have any
David,
comments on
David, real quick, this is an incredible conversation in regards to the reading because you spice it up real well, and I paint a picture of where we are now. See, coming together on Saturday mornings like today paints a clear picture because I guarantee you, everyone that is here this week was probably challenging somehow. You know, you're building your MWR business, personal life. So every time we come back, it's a decision that we're making. Nobody's forced to be here, but it feels great to be able to realign yourself with a mastermind group. And that's how I feel when I come back every Saturday morning for our reading club. It's just, I feel energized. I feel that all the people that I have talked to that have said no, that haven't shown up to events that I followed up with, it just kind of it dries you out a little bit. But when you come back to rejuvenate that energy like we're doing here today, holding each other accountable, you feel recharged. There's
it?
16 of us here. So I go, if there's 16 of us here, I'm pretty sure out there's 16 more. We just got to
Mm,
have enough energy and come together with a conclusion that if 16 of us have a mastermind through a book reading every Saturday, we can get one more person. And that gives us enough energy to go back and do it again. There's more Davids, there's more Lynn's, Eric Wilner's, Dr. G.W. Parker's out there, Cassandra's, Martha's, myself, right? But there's more out there. We just got to go out and find those that are hungry, driven for success, and bring them over here. Thank you.
just like Lynn said, Fernando, thank you for that. That once they paint the vision for themselves, not our vision for them, but as we bring other associates and even customers aboard, when we paint the vision or help them to paint the vision, like Lynn said, plant the seeds that gets them to get off the grind mentality, to get off the hamster wheel that they're on right now, because we all know what that looks like, even if we've never been corporate animals before, we know because there's so many other people that are out there doing it, what that looks like. We see it on the freeway every morning between 6 and 9. We see it in the evening between 5 and 8. That's those rats going to the rat race. Those people who need to be freed in their minds first before they can actually make the move to taking the action. And what you said about each one reach one, which is what I heard when you said there's 16 of us, and there could be 32 next week. Do those other 16 that you're talking about that will be here next week, the thing that we as the ones who are here right now and are hearing this message through this powerful book is, who are we going to bring? Just that one person, just commit to bringing that one person, painting that vision and letting them know we've got a group of people who have a like-minded vision for themselves and their business, and we would really you would benefit from being there with us. Just come and see, just like we do with the prospect. Come and see what we've got, and then make a decision for yourself. And hopefully, well, I'm pretty much like you, Fernando. The recharge is very real because we are making the decision to start before anybody else starts, to recharge our minds. And now we're going to talk about that in the next um, portion, which says your brain and your vision. The brain is an amazing organ. As David Frost once pointed out, it starts working the moment you get up in the morning and doesn't stop until you get into work. Ouch. Wow. That I got to stop there because personally, I found this to be so true. International company, France and America, shared service centers where I'm posted up in a department where people have been working there for decades. Okay. And I'm wondering, these people have been sitting here going through the changes that the company has gone through, and yet all they think about is and also it was unionized. And yeah, unions are great, but they take away that entrepreneurial spirit to my way of thinking, because the people that I was sitting with in that area, in those cubicles, all they cared about was starting at 8, taking lunch, taking a break, got to have a break. You get a 15-minute break, you get an hour lunch or a half hour, depending on whether you're unionized or not. You get another break at the end of the day, and then you go home and you rinse and repeat all 5 days. And then on the weekend, what do? You get one day, Saturday, really, to be free. And then Sunday, you're preparing for that next 5 day period. And look at what it says. Your brain is working before you get to your desk, if you're still in that situation, and doesn't stop. This is so amazing. Doesn't stop until you get to work. Why is that? Because it's saying you don't have to think. You're certainly not thinking for yourself anymore. You're thinking about what the manager wants you to do. You're thinking about what the boss said to do. You're thinking about what thing that you left undone yesterday that you got to get done today. Wow, that one sentence is very powerful for me. It says, our brains are wonderful, powerful, and inconsistent. Due to its multiple functions, sometimes your brain can seem to be working at cross purposes with itself. For instance, have you ever felt like your brain was in conflict with itself? If so, you're not alone or crazy. There is some groundbreaking research that explains why you're experiencing or what you're experiencing, sorry, and offers powerful insights on how you can use your brain more effectively to live the life you desire. What a great goal. Using our brain that God already gave us, that's up here, that it's gonna get turned on no matter what, because we talked about in the previous book when I read about the habit loop, that our brain leans towards establishing habits so that it can put us on autopilot. We don't think about brushing our teeth. We don't think about taking a shower. We don't think about taking the trash. It's Tuesday. Trash goes out on Tuesday for Wednesday pickup. You don't have to think about that. You just do it. Just like the Nike slogan. There are things that we've got pre-programmed and our brain loves it because biologically it saves energy. Thinking takes energy. Thinking takes time, but thinking also shows you that future life that the book just alluded to in the previous pages. We can't get to where we want to go until we think about it first. Going on. Researchers have found that a portion of the brain, the amygdala, you guys can check me on that pronunciation, reacts negatively when we are facing uncertainty and risk. This response is quite helpful in avoiding danger and staying alive. Unfortunately, when we imagine the future as being vastly different from today, we experience uncertainty because we don't know how to create and maintain the future we are imagining. When this happens, the amygdala stick kicks in. Mm. That's when the part of our brain that avoids risk gets in our way. It seeks to keep us out of uncertain and risky situations. When you start to envision a future that stretches your comfort zone and is significantly bigger and bolder than what you are currently living, the amygdala tries to shut down the process before you do anything that could be detrimental. Wow, that's the bad news. At one level, we are all wired to resist change and postpone greatness. The good news is there is also a portion of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, or PFC, that acts as a counterbalance to the amygdala. The PFC lights up when you look out over open vistas. And interestingly, when you imagine greatness for yourself in the future. Scientists can track increased electrical impulses in the PFCs of test subjects when they think about a compelling future. Research has also shown that our brains have a powerful capacity to change. In the past, scientists thought our brains were essentially static after we became adults, but they now know that the brain can change over time. The areas that we use frequently actually grow in the density of neural connections and in size. Guys, I got to stop there and we got to chew on this just a little bit. I mean, they've got scientific proof that I use this phrase a lot when people that I come across, they seem to be stuck in their current situation. They can't see a way out. And I just tell them that, hey, you're not a tree. I'll let that sink in for just a second. None of us are trees. Once a tree is planted and it sinks those roots down into the ground, what happens? You have to cut that thing down in order to get it to move because all it's going to do is keep going further down and further up. But it can't move. Once it's planted, it's in that spot. That tree owns that piece of land. But not so with us. God didn't create us that way. He said, you've got dominion over the entire earth. Dominion. That means we get to rule this thing in a good way, of course. And isn't that interesting that the brain has, like it says, it's like fighting against itself. One part of the brain says, "No, don't do that. You don't know where you're going. You've never been there before. You've never done that before. You've never earned that much money before. You've never had that kind of freedom before. We don't know what that's like. We can't take you there. Stop before you even take the first step." So Lynn, like you said, we can do the train. We can say, look, this is what's possible. Dream with us. Then when it comes time to putting it into effect to execute that plan, no movement. So we've got to figure out a way to get that amygdala out of the way and get that prefrontal cortex working, where it says, hey, you can do this. We like what we saw when you did that vision casting, when you posted that up on your vision board that we can be in Dubai in a year. We've never been there before. We've heard about it, but man, wouldn't it be great to walk on those streets to go up in those huge skyscrapers that I've seen pictures of. Man, I'm just getting excited thinking about it. Yes, sir, Jameson.
Good morning. This is an amazing read. I love this book and all the insights that everybody's giving. I like this one part when it says right here is it's kind of like I can see how it trips me up myself. When you start to envision a future that stretches your comfort zone and significantly is bigger and bolder than what you are currently living, the amygdala tries to shut down the process before you do anything that could be detrimental. So it's that flight, I mean, that the fear of the unknown it talks about earlier. And when you try to stretch your vision, I try to stretch my vision all the what is it, are you sure, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now what Lynn was talking about, I think, yourself talking about with the three chords, when you enroll people in your vision, it gives you safety and comfort, meaning people reassure you and like, hey, how's that going? And that kind of gives you that go signal. It gives you the community feeling to quell the amygdala down. Like, oh, wait, this is safe. This is comfortable. This is like we belong to. Like, you enroll people in your vision, so there's more of a belonging. There's more of a culture that comes along with it that quells this amygdala. So it's pretty cool. Thank you.
Okay, so you're saying what Mr. Wilner said earlier, that once you get that support system, you share your vision, then you feel that it's okay because other people are with you. You're not crazy thinking that you can do this. Is that what you're saying, Jameson?
Right, that fear of the unknown, that the amygdala is trying to like keep you safe. It
Right.
finds safety in numbers, as it were. And
Yes,
then it
exactly.
then it
That's a
makes
good
sense
point.
because
That's a good
we're a herd animal. We're a herd, not animal, but
mentality. Yes.
creature of habit. But that
Got
herd
to.
mentality If you bring the herd, you bring together people, then you're kind of going towards the vision together, even if it's not aligned specifically, but they're supporting you in your vision and you support them in theirs. It really quells that unknown and back into the known.
I understand what you're saying. Well, Nifa, while you're out there on the streets, talk to us. Oh, okay. Guess you changed your mind. Lynn?
Yeah, for whatever reason this morning, I don't see my raised hand. It's not working. But
Okay, no problem.
like we say, when a person is battling, if you will, against those two forces, the PFC and the amygdala, people do absolutely nothing.
Right.
So for me this morning, I'm just solving for X so that we can take a person from where they are, being confused or being stagnant to the next place. So again, we've got to exercise that muscle for them because you asked the question, how is it? So whatever it takes, and I know we have the steps, we do that. Number one, keeping them connected, showing them a space to where they can have some immediate success. But when we continue to exercise that muscle with that PFS, now it becomes habit. So when I'm listening to this read this morning, I think for me, I'm solving for X on how we can go ahead and take all of this to the next level. Like I said, not everybody on here may not be with the company, but even taking this information in life and continuing to exercise that muscle, and that's going to be through daily activities. So if we have to hold each other accountable, so be it, so be it the case. If we share, if we don't have a why, we can't share that. But if we continue to be connected as we are now, building this community, then we're rejuvenated, put it that way, two words at one time. But I think this is good space. And even when most people cannot be here in this morning, in this hour, finding that space to where we can be accountable and help someone to elevate to that next level. So I'm loving everything that we're sharing between, the book that we read prior and this book now, because one is showing us the how and the other is giving us vision to know that it is possible.
Lynn, you just helped me to remember something I learned from a previous training is that vision and focus are very different. Vision is our broad thought pattern that says, this is where I can be, this is where I want to be. And then our focus should be laser sharp. We should be just like, and what the company has done for us who are together in the company is that they've helped to try and take, well, not try, they've taken away a lot of the excuses. And again, it's up to us as leaders and as folks who know what this is all about and what's possible. We again can't cast our vision on the new people, but just bring it out of them because we realize that on a daily basis, nobody is sharing or they don't have a community to help them to reach their goals. They've been hired to do a job. They're a cog in a wheel. They're a spoke in a wheel. That's all they are. The company only pays them what the company feels that position is worth. When we know, and others in our type of industry, in our business, we know that as human beings, we are capable of so much more. And this proves that our brain, once it's turned on, once it's refocused, those new neurons are built, because that's another great thing that research has shown that we have a powerful capacity to change.
Yes.
We're not trees. We can get up and move. If we don't like this spot where we are right now, that spot over there works. And all we have to do is get up off our assets and take a few steps to the left, take a few steps to the right, whichever way we want to go. We're free physically. Now we just have to free ourselves mentally. Does anyone else have a comment? Moving on.
David, you
Yes, sir.
bring up a very good point, an important point, because this whole thing about rewiring your brain, people used to think that it was not possible, that you are a product of your environment and you have to live with the results. And there's an excellent book called Neuroscience, that the same way that you exercise your muscles, your biceps, your triceps, and everything else, you must exercise your brain, and you can exercise and build, like bodybuilders, the body or brain of your choice. And I think that's why, think about this, the first three chapters of the 12-hour work week are talking all about mindset, the soft skill that, as an engineer by education, I used to believe only in logic, right? And give me the facts, show me the systems, that all that other stuff is, hippie frou-frou stuff.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
as I grew more mature and I started to understand the fundamental, because none of the logic or the systems or the facts matter if the amygdala, which is your fight or flight, is the gatekeeper to every idea and every thought, that if you can't get past that, then the rest doesn't even matter. But the cool part about it is, what you're saying about being able to replace bad thinking with good thinking through focused, intentional brain exercises.
And Eric, you just reminded me of a very practical and personal um, example of that in my mother, who recently passed. When we were together, when she was alive, that was something that I could see it in her, that it wasn't that her body was physically incapable of doing what the physical therapists and occupational therapists were asking her to do. The doctors had cleared her for full, because she had broken her femur, got it operated on, it was repaired beautifully, and within, I think, 60 days or so, the doctor cleared her for 100% weight bearing, which meant she could get up out of the chair, out of the bed, and start standing and walking. But her mind, in her mind, she told herself she couldn't do it, or the amygdala told her that even though you've done this before, we're not doing that anymore. And so it had an impact on her physical being because her mind had turned off. Like you just said, we have and this last piece is going to tell us, let me read this and then I'll come back to it. But if you have the capacity, unfortunately, because we are not trees, we can turn our brains off. This capacity for our brains to change is called neuroplasticity. Here's why that is such a big deal. Your brain has the ability to change and develop physiologically, and it does so based on how you use it. Ah, that's good news and bad news. The bad news is that unless you intentionally engage the PFC, you are by default relatively strengthening the portion of your brain that resists change and keeps you stuck. Mm. The good news is that you can change your brain by simply what you think about. You have the ability to strengthen and develop your brain by thinking about a compelling future for yourself, by regularly and repeatedly thinking about an inspiring vision where you emotionally connect with the life you desire. And here's what may be the best part. When you think about a compelling vision, the neurons that fire in your brain are the same neurons that fire when you act on your vision. What that means is that you can literally train your brain to act on your vision just by thinking about it. The first step, though, is creating an inspiring vision and learning how to stay connected with it. And Mary Oliver asks us the question, tell me, what is it you plan to do? Eric, David, Gerald, Lynn, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? The floor is open. That's so powerful. I can't stand it. We'll be here for another hour if I start talking. So please, everybody else chime in. Jameson wants to go party. Fernando.
Hey, David, what an amazing read. I like the wrap up. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
Your
I
life,
think,
Fernando.
yeah, we have to, you know, uh, fear, right? We can translate the word fear into false evidence appearing real. I think Anthony Robbins, you know, talks about that. And sometimes our fears are so strong, they hold us back from doing a task, right? First is ridicule. What are they going to think about me? Instead of converting that into the fuel of it doesn't matter what they're going to think about me, but I'm going to make the attempt to make progress. And this book actually talks about breaking down your goals, right, into more closer to you immediate to your immediate goals. And I think some of the things that we need to start doing as a community is holding each other accountable to the progress and enjoying the journey of where we're going. And yes, it's not easy, and that's why Len talks about now more engaging more in our trainings where we can open up microphones and start to feel comfortable to share. Because if we are able to share and we are able to express where we're going, see, I'd rather have people communicating and sharing than staying quiet, because at least it allows me to know where we are all and how we can all improve as a community. So this book right here really holds us accountable to the process of where we need to go in a matter of a year. Because a year, look, April is almost done. And to me, we just started January. And time has gone so fast. And I think if we don't open up our mouth and communicate with freedom, right, what we need to do and express, we won't be able to talk to strangers. I mean, this is a voluntary army. We come here together, and if we learn to know who David is, who Lynn is, who Fernando, what their goals are, and Eric, and I don't want to leave any names out, but all of us as a community is having a conversation because our story, someone out there is needing to hear from. So if we don't know each other here as a community and we don't communicate, we can't make progress. So I want to thank you for your read today, David. It was phenomenal. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? And if
Only
you
get
ask
one.
yourself that question, what is it? Can you define it in one word? What is it? Thank you, David.
And isn't it great, Fernando, that as the book says, this is scientific information now. We're talking about what scientists have discovered through testing and studies that they've done, and they've actually looked at the like it says, the electrical charge that goes through our brain when we think about a compelling vision. We think about that 15-room mansion, bedroom mansion that's sitting high up on a hill, or we think about that family gathering where they look at us as the matriarch or patriarch that started this whole thing, and now everyone gets the benefit. What is it? Is it the three cars in the four with a four-car garage? Is it the house with the pool? Is it the trips every month to wherever your heart wants you to go? What is it that's driving you internally? Because that's what this is telling us, that we've got to key into to make that emotional connection. Otherwise, it's the hamster wheel. We're no better than those folks on the 405, or the like you guys call it out there in California, the 10. Uh, every morning fighting that smog and that road rage that naturally comes up because people they don't care about the other person in the other car. But here, look at this, a community of 15, 16 people who understand that without a clear vision, without doing the thinking first, and I love this, that you can just strengthen and develop your brain by thinking about your future. Now, don't stay there. Don't just be a daydreamer, because that won't get you anywhere either. but take that dream and put it somewhere and then focus in on what it takes to bring that dream to reality. Make wealth real. I think I'm over my time.
And that's why, David, it's crucially important that we communicate the vision. Even if we're going to be laughed at and people are going to think we're crazy. I mean, our company name really holds us accountable to bring it to life. That's why they give us, and I call it the Monopoly game with real money,
Yeah.
because this is real life money we're talking about with an incredible platform that has a tremendous name. I mean, if you listen to the name Make Wealth Real, it's up
Mhm.
to us.
Take it from a
It's all
dream.
up.
And also, Fernando, one other thing, the other fear that you mentioned one that starts with an R, and I'm sorry, but I'm thinking about so many different things right now. But the other fear that we have is the fear of rejection. We have to overcome that fear. We have to overcome that objection to, and it's really unknown because until you take that first step, pick up that phone. I've got to find this really cute video of Gru where he's sitting at his desk and he's just going, he's just really tensed up because he's got to make that call and he can't. The phone is looking like a devil and it's just crazy. It's a really really good, but it's so instructive and so compelling that that's what's going on in our brain. We're so that amygdala says, no, if you do that, you don't know what's going to happen when you pick up that phone and you call that dial. You don't know what they're going to say. You don't know what they're going to do. So just don't do it. You know what's going to happen on Monday morning. You know where you got to go on Monday morning, right? So go get your lunch ready. Go get the kids squared away. And let's just keep on going on that grind. No, no. Now that our minds have been expanded, can't snap back.
A rubber band is only effective when it stretches,
Stretched. That's right.
right? And that's basically what you just alluded to there. And that's what came to mind when you said that.
Yeah.
And I think we got to learn to stretch our mind, because once you stretch it far enough and you reach that goal, I mean, it makes you feel proud of yourself, man. And you say
Yes.
sometimes, why did it
Yes.
take me so long?
Yes. It's exciting stuff. This is almost exciting as um Dr. Parker's book. Get excited or
Exactly.
stay broke forever.
That's right.
All right.
I s-
Thank you
all right.
everyone for putting up with me this morning, my technical difficulties. This was a great chapter. So I hope that everybody has either got the link from Eric or has the physical book so that you can keep or like Dr. Parker, you can even go ahead and get more excited because he knows where we're going. So,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
now we're about
I
to
think
go into our
Monifa's got
next
her
chapter.
hand up.
Hey, Monifa, you going to talk to us this morning?
Great morning, great morning. Yeah, I was trying to get in here. Awesome read, David. Good morning, everyone. I appreciate you guys for delving into this book, and it's so amazing. I just wanted to add some like a leadership nugget. You can't lead others past through the level of your own commitment. So if your actions are negotiable, your team feels it, your client could feel it, your results are exposed. So people don't follow their goals, they follow their standards. Right. So what you do when somebody's not looking, you could play all you want up in the face, but what are you doing when no one's looking? Right? What they call that really integrity. So the real question here is, why am I still operating in an interest instead of a commitment? What are you committed to? Are your goals vague, or is it really tight? So your actions should be really non-negotiable. And what the cost if you don't execute is, if you don't execute, what your cost is. and what's the identity of what you're stepping into. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. We need to ask ourselves those questions. This book is straight up and in your face, and it'll get us all the way together. So your commentary today was excellent. I love that you just, no one answered, no one stepped up, you kept going. And that's powerful to hear your insight and what you're hearing as you read. So I appreciate it so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Monifa out. Thanks for having me share.
Thank you for those nuggets, Monifa, as always.
Well,
I'm speechless. I mean, David, you started so well. And the thing that I like about what happened, right? You were talking about technical issues. Your attitude of gratitude didn't allow us to see that. All we saw is perfection because of that attitude of gratitude. And we thank you, David, for putting, your time out, your energy, and you were here with us and you taught us well. Wrapping it up with Manifa. Wow, goals, standards, integrity, interest, or commitment. Action should be non-negotiable. Thank you, Munifa. All right. So we're about 2 minutes away. Oh my goodness, David, time flew. Okay, so what I'll do is I guess we're gonna keep the recording going because we only got 2 more minutes to get started with our next portion of our morning, which is the training. And I want to thank Lynn for allowing me her time yesterday. We actually spent a great amount of time to put thoughts together, ideas, and implementing them, where we're going to have more connection as an MWR family, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, because we got to get back into re-engaging our level of energy, enthusiasm, open cameras like today, right? I'm taking a lot with me. So when we're behind the scenes, we really can't communicate properly. So with that being said, David, thank you so much. I appreciate you, sir. All right, so let's get things started again in our training, and I'm gonna do this. I prepare a training, and we're still working on this, so we're gonna keep an eye on the following Saturday training. But I know that Lynn's gonna help me out with with putting things together. Okay, because she's phenomenal at putting ideas in a PowerPoint presentation where it creates a lot of connection for all of us to learn. So here's my screen. Let me see if you guys can see it. And if you all can invite other folks to join us, I think these trainings are crucially important. And believe me, we do the best that we can to create the support that we all need so we can grow faster and hold each other accountable to growing. Okay, because and by the show of hands or fire emojis in the chat, how many of us here want to lead big organizations? Okay, because when we talk about the things that we see happening, we got to communicate. Okay, and if you feel in your heart that you can drive people into what we're doing, as David alluded to, which is make wealth real. How many of you feel the company name in your heart? Make wealth real. The more we can define, what our company is about, and I call it the real money monopoly game or the cash flow game from Robert Kiyosaki. This is real life money we're talking about. And we got all the tools and all the resources, but in order for us to be able to understand the game, we must learn to play the game. We can't just be watching others play the game. No, we have to roll up our sleeves and play the game of make wealth real. That's why understanding the investment worth of $159.95 a month. The question becomes, how much are you getting out of your $159.95 a month membership? That's the question. And it's not that, and we have Alex, we got corporate, we got leaders, right? Everybody that can support us, but we can only do so much. We can only, teach so much. If we're not doing the implementation, we can be teaching, years. But if there's no implementation of being uncomfortable, as the 12-week year book talks about, It's impossible to move ahead. So team participation, make wealth real, duplicate your success. That's why I changed the topic of what it had before, which was this was a basic training. It's about team participation. And money, if you want it, it's gonna make you uncomfortable. First, you gotta learn to take action, right? So the action steps that we're gonna talk about are crucially important. And this is what we see here. What you learn today is learn to shift expenses into income. And again, it's going to be a participating morning for all of us to be able to see how much we're progressing as a team, as an MWR community, launching your business properly, accessing business funding, building tangible assets, create time and financial freedom. So we all want to do these things, but it takes action. Plug into our support platform. So we got all the tools and the resources, and I want to create an image before we proceed. On the right side, you see family time freedom, trading time for dollars. Okay, be there for them, miss out on memories. And the thing that we need to know is where are we right now as we speak? Okay, are we still trading time for dollars as David asked earlier today, right? How many of you guys still have a job? And if you do, are you ready to transition to start building leverage, which is walking away from trading time for dollars, thinking long term? And I don't think even thinking long term here is long term. If you can commit for 3 to 5 years, would you consider that being long-term thinking to take action? It really isn't. Okay, because to make money the right way, you cannot make money and quick money and let that drift away. The people that play the lotto win the lotto, I mean, it's rare that that happens, right? You could probably, I don't know, die first before winning the lotto. But what I'm trying to say with this is, can you believe we trust scratching a ticket and maybe you get lucky and you win money? But if you don't grow with money, it's going to drift away and it's going to go away in as little as 3 to 5 years. So going back to thinking long term, MWR is not a long term proposition. I call it the short term proposition because if you really roll up your sleeves for 3 to 5 years and learn the formula for success, to me, that is a short term proposition. But a lot of us think, oh my God, it's a long time, 3 to 5 years. I'm having problems now. Of course you are, because you got to take the time to learn to transition from the way you're thinking now to a 3 to 5 year commitment. And a lot of us don't know that we're drifted away to going back to trading time for dollars. That's a long-term proposition of a 40-year game plan for failure. How many of you agree with that? And we commit to it. We commit to it. So let's not deviate from the purpose of understanding that the long-term thinking that we are thinking about with MWR, it's only a 3 to 5 year transformational life. Okay, staying coachable. It's important that we stay coachable. And yes, it's not comfortable to stay coachable at times, especially when you're being held accountable. You're being reminded constantly of your path for success. Not emotional. Take ownership. No excuses. Keep in mind that excuses and money, they're worst enemy. They cannot even see each other through the mirror. So no excuses. Success does not allow any room for excuses. Rules to win: show up daily, even when you don't feel like it, as David alluded to today. Sometimes you don't feel like showing up, or sometimes you don't feel like being a part of the training, or and picking up the phone. Show up all the time, okay? Even when you don't feel like showing up. I think you should congratulate yourself. If you didn't feel like showing up today to our reading or our training and you're still here, congratulations. Because you just separated yourself from so many people by being here this morning, okay? Follow the system. And that's the hard thing to do, following the system, but we got to learn to follow the system because it simplifies things so we can duplicate ourselves to make sure that within a 3 to 5 year time frame, we have a community that are following a system. Invite, present, follow up, plug into trainings, stay in the right environment. And to me, this is a winning environment. I mean, since we started this morning, I came in with, even, I enjoy what I do, time freedom and all that. But that doesn't mean that it's a perfect week. No, there's a lot of rejection in the process. No matter how much you communicate your idea, a lot of people are not going to see it. They're not going to respond to your communication. So coming in and plugging into where we are now, which is a winning environment, is the right environment here. Winning habits, talk to people daily, stay consistent online, grow your mindset, help others win. And if you cannot win for yourself and within your households, there's no way you can help others win. So we carry a lot of responsibility in our shoulders, but it's worth it. Why? Because we're disciplining ourselves. We're staying consistent. That's the behavior we want to duplicate so we can enjoy time freedom. And keep this in mind. Time freedom comes with humongous responsibility. Here in our neighborhood, there's a little tree as we're walking out, to go to our parking area. And there were two little birds, right? There was a nest right there on a small tree, and my wife paid attention to it, and she saw it. She saw this little bird. I don't know what it's called in English. The little ones that suck honey with a long beak. They're tiny birds, and she made her little nest right outside, and we saw the evolution of two little eggs. My wife we're gonna put the video on social media because it almost made me cry to see the transformation of these two little eggs that this mother bird was protecting. As they started to grow, right, she started to drift away. And from a distance, she would keep an eye on them every day, consistent, trusting the process of God. If seeing these two little eggs form into two little birds. And as these two little birds started to grow, right, you could start to see the little heads pop up. And they felt protected, trusting the process. And the mother was always keeping an eye on them. She couldn't be there anymore in the nest as she was when they were, eggs. So as they were growing up, you could see the two little heads pop up. And as you see the little heads pop up, they would look at each other and they started to grow. The nest started to become so small to the point that one was bigger than the other. That one, the bigger one, flew first and left the other one behind. And guess what? The little brother that flew first and left the other one behind was right across on a cable, learning to fly. And the mother kept an eye on both of them until the nest shrunk so much, they grew so much that they grew out of it. Why am I painting this picture? Is because that's exactly how time freedom works. Time freedom comes with responsibility, and you gotta trust the process, just the way these little birds did. The nest completely disappeared. It shrunk so much, it disappeared. What a transformational way to see life. That God is here to protect us. And you have to trust the process. We can't be depending too much on, on the rat race, as David was talking about earlier today. Is your freedom, is your legacy. Okay. So if a bird can trust the process, why couldn't we? So let's talk about specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely goals, right? SMART. I think I heard this from Eric. SMART goals. When does this need to be done? So we're going to talk about the letter S. Be specific. When do you want your goal to be achieved? Okay, so you got to be very specific. The letter M stands for measurable, right? Is it based on realistic standards? The letter A, achievable. Is it within your power to achieve it? Realistic. How do you know you have done it? Timely. What do you want to achieve? So if you understand SMART goals, you need to understand that it's a transformational path to get to where you see yourself already in the future, here in the present. Okay, so whatever you're painting in the future, you need to understand that you got to act as if. And I learned this from a mentor of ours that used to tell us, act as if you are already making $20,000 a month. And he always said that you got to act as if, Because what you're doing, as Mr. Eric Wilner alluded to earlier in a reading club, is you gotta have the vision and you gotta bring it to the present and you gotta share it with people. Because if you're not sharing your vision with people, you're not communicating your process with a handful of people that you're looking for. The good thing about what we have is you only need a handful. If you look at every company that's had tremendous success, right? It's a handful of leaders. The Pentagon. How many people move the entire Pentagon? 5 leaders. So it takes a small group of people, but someone needs to be selling the vision constantly, and it has to be you. Okay? So again, SMART goals, right? When does this need to be done? Is it based on realistic standards? Is it within your power to achieve it? How do you know you have done it? What do you want to achieve? Do you have a clear path of what you want to achieve? If you do, the action starts now, okay? So let's get right into it. And here's where we need team participation, all right? And I'm gonna start asking questions. Shift expenses into income, team participation. See, the word team participation is exposing ideas. So let me ask you a question, team leaders and team partners. How many of you are using the debt elimination strategies in your portal to eliminate your debt? Okay. And if you are, can you just in the chat, can you put number 1 that you're doing it or that you're implementing it? And if you want to open up your microphone, it would be a good idea what the implementation of debt elimination is doing for you. So I'm not able to see behind the camera, but if anybody can help me co-host, and remember, this is team participation, right? So if you want to expose your testimonial so we can all hear what debt elimination has done for you, if it has given you a way to compress your time on paying off your debt. And if it does, we'd love to hear from you. Remember, it's an accountability factor of your testimonial. And we're not trying to, expose anybody that hasn't used it, but at least we want to get you closer to now being held accountable. If you do have debt, are you using the calculator? Or are you using Cambridge to be able to pay off your debt? All right. So debt elimination strategies are there. And again, go ahead, Dr. GW.
Yes, sir. Just a quick testimony as it relates to debt elimination. I drug into this program with me 25 years worth of remaining debt. These guys positioned me to pay that 25 years worth of remaining debt off in 5 years, saving me $3,273.36 every single month. So nobody can ever tell me that it doesn't work. But here's the challenge. Most people, we say, oh, we want to get out of debt. We want to enhance our credit score. We want to save money on taxes. 95% of those who participate, including many of you on this platform, you won't do it. You won't activate the services. You won't make the commitment necessary to do it. So I say, if you're not going to put the time in to do the necessary work to get the results from the services, let your focus be the compensation plan. Go get the money. Because if you got the money, you can fix the credit problems. You got the money, you can resolve the tax issues. If you've got the money, you can fix the debt issue. What we don't have is money. MWR offers you a way to get the money, but they offer you services that will help put money back into your pocket. So if you're not serious about taking advantage of that, listen, let your focus be 100% on this revenue sharing program. Go find enough people that get excited about changing their future, that are driven by the money. We know what the money can do. The money changes everything. So again, guys, it works. We just got to work it. They've handed it to us on a silver platter. It is totally up to us. Me personally, I'm done talking. It's about doing now. It's about making these things happen. So I'm looking for a group of like-minded individuals that can see what I see. I see this revenue sharing program. I see 36 people paying you $50 a day, $1,500 a month. I see 90 people in your organization paying you $100 a day, $3,000 a month. And guys, we're just getting started. Fernando Ramirez, 8 months. All right. Think about it. A regional director, $200 a day, $6,000 a month, $73,000 a year. Who does that? Where can you go to get this? Where can you go to have an opportunity like that? Only here at MWR. This is the most aggressive revenue sharing program in the industry, not to mention the services. And here's the cool part about services: 30-day money back guarantee. So what MWR is really saying, if they can't do exactly what we say it can do, get your money back. You've not lost anything. But I say to all of you, get serious about what you want to do. Come to the table with a made up mind. Activate these services. I was the guinea pig early on, nearly 9 years ago. Many of these services that we have today, we didn't have then, but I used every one of them and I got the results better than what they even promised. I'm telling you, this thing works. We just got to get for real about it.
Wow. Dr. G.W. Parker, why do you think I follow your footprints? See, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, can you imagine his voice, his excitement, his enthusiasm? He started the implementation of services which lit up the fire for him to go out and fire his boss and start talking to people about it. That's why implementation is so important. And again, team participation is crucially important. And he was the first one to raise his hand. Why? Because he's excited. So this is the kind of excitement you need to have, either, as he alluded to, by implementing the compensation plan or activating services. If you ask me what I did, Dr. G.W. Parker first implemented services. I run with the compensation plan. I did. I didn't even know about the services at all. I just believed, like those birds, the process would work. So by me believing in the process would work, like Dr. G.W. Parker would be the mother bird, right? The father bird. Hey, listen, I trust your process. You've used the services. That's why we bugged the heck out of them. We had them working around the clock. We came in with a bunch of people. So you have to understand that implementation is key. Okay. So debt elimination. All right. So if you have not implemented that, start doing that. Okay. Yes, you got to talk to people, but you got to do something. Either go to your back office, implement services, and get excited to talk to people, or vice versa. Build your list of contacts and then get excited about making money, and through the process start implementing services. I didn't use the tax services, which is reduce my taxes, and I was going to ask you next who has done that, until we were already a 4-star executive director. We had not implemented no service. We had put the compensation plan to work. So we saw a text come in. We didn't even get the $5 text. We got the $20 text right out of the gate. So this is testimonial sharing. Okay. So that's why we want to hear your testimonial. We had $30,000 worth of IRS debt. How they did it, I don't know. I just implemented what Basecamp asked me to do, give them the power of attorney, give them all the documentation. They were able to knock down from $30,000 owing the IRS to $7,500. And they gave me options. They said, if you want to do 3 payments, you can pay $12,500 in 3 payments. Or if you want to do 1 payment, it's $7,500. What did I do? 1 payment right out of the gate. They saved me $22,500. How much did I end up paying? $750. But I wasn't even thinking about that. Okay. So implementation is crucially important. You have to either implement the compensation plan to start paying some debt down, start working on your taxes, eventually lowering your bills. We are lowering our bills, our cell phone, internet. They're saving us $98 per month on internet and cell phone. Okay, so implementation is crucially important. So if anybody that is here besides Dr. G.W. Parker and myself that like to share some testimonials, team participation is crucially important. Okay, and if you don't have a testimonial yet, you have an assignment to really go over your Monopoly game, real money game, cash flow, quadrant money game, and start implementing, because you want to be able to get either your membership paid for by referring 3 customers, or referring 3 directors of 1 customer, your membership is paid for, or 6 registrations and you got everything paid in full. Dr. GW?
Yes, sir. Fernando, just another testimony as it relates to what you're reviewing this morning. I told you that they saved me, 25 years worth of debt, cut it out in 5 years with debt elimination strategy, saved me over $3,000 a month. But then the credit score, all right, enhancement by 128 points using those experts, 128-point increase in my credit score. Not only that, tax reduction strategies saved me $350 a month, money I saw in my check 2 weeks later. Guys, this thing works in a major way. You just got to activate it. Here's the thing. Once you join MWR, none of these systems will work for you until you take the first step. You've got to schedule the appointment with the CPAs. You've got to upload the credit reports. You've got to take the lead and initiate this stuff. And then those experts wrap their hands around you and they walk you through the process. Listen, as it relates to, the ability to, with Bill Shredder, between my internet and also Sirius XM satellite radio, saving $120 a month, putting this money back into my pocket. All of these areas I was overpaying. So let's not talk about not having the money. You got the money. You just got your money going in the wrong direction. You need some experts to help you position yourself. But here's the thing. When I came out of this with all of those results as it relates to services, I had a story to tell. And I told anybody who would listen, I'm saving money on taxes. I've lowered my debt. My credit scores have been increased. Even with the credit score increase in the tax reduction strategies, Fernando, they showed me how to take that money and create an investment vehicle. That investment vehicle is paying me 10 times more than my 401k, put me in a position to retire in 10 years versus 25. Everybody I knew wanted or needed the same thing to happen to them. And that was my excitement. And within 24 months, I began generating enough income from this very revenue sharing program to walk away from a $65,000 a year job to do this full time. I'm in charge now. I dictate the terms, all because I was willing to share the story. But before even sharing it, I activated and became a product of the product. I had the results. The proof was in the pudding. This thing, guys, we just got to do it.
Exactly. Dr. G.W. Parker, that's the story that I bought into when I met you and we started working with you. And the same story you've been sharing since day one allowed us to bring a bunch of people in. One day, if you can all think about looking back when I started it, we had a 3-hour training where Dr. G.W. Parker was doing all the training on implementation of services. Okay. So everything has to do with implementation. And when you're able to share your story, my story, in 8 months, I became a regional director making $73,000 a year in residual income. I mean, that to me blew my mind away. My taxes, right? Reducing my bills. So when you are doing the implementation, nobody can go against your proposition. And if anybody does, you know what you think? They're crazy. If it's working for me and they don't see it working for them, it's not my problem. It's theirs. It gives you leverage. It gives you strength. It gives you endurance to be able to talk to people. And those that are ready to hear, they're going to feel you. And they're going to know that you're for real. That's why implementation is crucially important. So if you're making an investment of $159.95 and you're not getting anything in return, something has to change. Something has to change. I didn't come here to pay money. I came here to make money. That's why right away I says I gotta get rid of my $159.95, and I would pay it. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't want to have any monthly payments coming out of my pocket. I wanted to make sure MWI pays for everything. I don't pay for nothing. I got 7 active customers, and I have 19 active MWR qualified marketing directors. Where are they? I don't know. But my goal is to have enough activity that can generate cash flow. I came to make wealth real, to make wealth real, not having any money coming out of my pocket. And if you're having that happen right now, shame on you, because you're not working hard enough to be able to build your organization. Okay, so I'm telling you, this is participation, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Saturday training rolling up your sleeves. And we're talking to you like coaches because it's time. It's time for you to be able to get a rate of return on your investment. Okay, so and if we're talking to you like like this, is because it's the real deal. It works, but is it working for you really?
Fernando, hey, it's Herschel here. How's everybody?
Herschel, my friend, how are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, listen, I'm compelled to share my testimony. I don't really find myself sharing it too often, but
Please do.
my credit score actually went from a 535 to 729.
Wow.
And what happened with me was that, I've had some things kind of ebb and flow, but when I first came over with the 535, I was always told in my life, don't borrow much debt, don't, stay out of debt, whatever. I didn't realize though that sometimes if you don't have enough debt, enough credit, it also affects your credibility as far as the lending stream. So that's how I really came to MWR. But I've turned around though and had different things going on with some tax issues here, some different things there. But I looked up after just submitting the information. I didn't really do anything beyond that except, the guidance they gave me, and I submitted the information and bit by bit, my credit score began to increase. So I just really feel like I'm compelled to share because I also had some times too where from time to time my credit would ebb and flow some too, just based upon some things I had going on. But the point is that I know for a fact that the system with MWR, the support and everything is really bona fide. It is legit. It is the real deal. And that's when, and I didn't even come knowing it to expect anything. I said, okay, let me just put the information in and see what happens. And I looked right up and there it was. So I'm just saying for anyone listening right now, you know what? The encouragement is to go ahead. Even if you've already submitted and applied with the information, go back and revisit it because sometimes your credit can ebb and flow. So to even stay on top of that, just know you've got a support base that can really back you, and you don't have to really worry about it. Just stay in contact with it, and then you can be okay. But I just wanted to share that, you guys, because it is legit. It went just like that.
Wow. And Herschel, I love to hear your testimony. You see how much value he just added to all of us? Now you have another testimonial besides Dr. G.W. Parker, besides Fernando. Now you got Herschel's testimonial. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, every time thank you so much, Herschel, for sharing. So your score went up from 535 to 729, correct?
Correct.
Wow. Now, see, Herschel opened up his microphone. He added value to our training. And that's what we want. You implement, use whatever service you want to take advantage of, and start to share what it's working for you. That's what we're talking about here. If anybody else has any other testimonials with either with the compensation plan or any services that you're implementing, please feel free to share because a hidden testimonial is not testimonial at all. Share, spread the good news that MWR really is make wealth real. Anyone else? All right, so
Fernando.
it looks like we're getting everybody with assignments. And the good thing about what we have nowadays, Herschel and Dr. GW, is Alex. This has gotten so much more easier. I have a lady in Texas. Yesterday, I was talking to her and I was training her for a good hour. She's been loyally paying the membership for 2 years, paying, not having referred any people. Her credit score number has gone up 127 points. We used the self besides credit restoration account about 6 months ago. Yesterday, she applied with the self. She actually put her bills to build credit. She also got a $100 credit card that self provided. Now it went up to $1,000. So we applied for the $1,000 card on self, and she got approved. Another thing is we open up her LLC, and now she's building business credit. I helped her establish her EIN to connect with the LLC. She's on fire. She's already got people lined up to refer this coming week. At 2 years, she's been paying on the membership, fixing her credit, working with her taxes too, as a matter of fact. And I'm going to bring her the following Saturday to share with us her testimonial. Her name is Elizabeth, and she's in the area of Texas. So testimonials, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're looking for. Implementation of what we got to offer here to impact people's lives. Anyone else? All right. So if
Fernando?
now, go ahead.
Hi, Fernando. Let me see if I can't even see myself. There we
Hi,
go.
listen.
So,
All right, brother. How you
now-
doing? Good to see you.
It's been amazing. So, one of the things that's interesting about doing the debt elimination is one of the things they like to implement is the DCA. diversified cash flow account. How
Okay.
I'm using the debt elimination, they give you their millionaire date, etc. This is how I learned to use this account in a way from it's another philosophy. It's called infinite banking. But it's the same. DCA and infinite banking are exactly the same. So I put my money into the insurance policy of the DCA. You have a base and you have a bucket. They asked me, how much do I want to save a month? I said $400 a month. So I pay $555 with the loan anyway. The key thing is you can get a loan from the bucket. So here's how I do it. I take my paycheck. I put in, right now it's the $555. $326 of that is available for a loan.
Wow.
It's my money and I get to choose how I get to use it. So what I do is I take the money, I put it in the DCA, I take the $326 and I pay off a credit card with it. By doing that, I'm moving my money, like Robert Kiyosaki says, through multiple assets, or the velocity of money. I'm going from my paycheck through the DCA into my credit card, and then I use my credit card to pay bills. So by doing that, I'm building an instant estate with insurance. I'm increasing my credit score, and I'm also being able to provide for the future of the life insurance policy. So the same dollar bill is being implemented in 3 different ways in this way. By doing this, it allowed me to go from like a 5-something credit score at one point up to 700 by just implementing that strategy. Now I take the rest of my paycheck and I do the same thing. I pay off my credit card every month, and then I use it. And what that does, so how I do that is I literally go to, let's say my payoff date is like the 5th, or say, and then the statement date is the 8th. I put the money in on the 5th. I wait till the 8th, and they pay off all my bills with my credit card, as many as I can. There's only 3 of them that I can't. They only take cash, like a mortgage or rent or a car note or other credit cards only take cash. You can't pay it off. But that's how I've been doing it, and that's boosted my credit score up to almost 700 at one point. It goes up and it ebbs and flows, but it gives me the strategy of using multiple services to do that. And now, how can I do that? You can even go, the bigger the policy. But now, by the way, let me why do I use the policy? I got my annual statement. The annual statement said that I borrowed $3,272, and it cost me $65, 5% simple interest per year. It cost me $65 to do that for 1 year. My dividends, or return on premium from the insurance policy, is $55. So it cost me $15 to borrow that 3,000 something dollars. And the reason why that's important is the simple interest you can have, and you could essentially never pay that off, because the collateralization, or what's happening is the insurance knows that they will get their money back and pay off the loan, and then give your heirs the remaining amount. So in a way, talk to the diversified cash flow account. Get them to give you a full understanding of what it is, because I think even I heard maybe possibly Brian House talk about using that to also with the silver program, where you can put your money through the asset first, the diversified cash flow account, and then get the loan to buy the silver, and then you can pay back the loan. Perhaps this get more information. This is not investment advice, but pay the loan back from the dividends of, or the actual returns from the silver. So it's a way of getting the silver now and paying for it through the returns. So check that out. But that's how I've used the DCA and increased my credit score, and to use credit cards instead of debit cards, or instead of other cash, That way you can use your cash multiple ways, and it gives you a way of asset accumulation through use of the money. And this is like through Make Wealth Real, this has been possible. It's an amazing opportunity. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jameson, I thank you so much for that. I mean, you just taught me something, right? Which is how to use policy money, diversify cash flow, and it's already in our back office. Now I got an idea in how I'm going to use some of those funds to be able to implement more of those funds into my precious metals portfolio. So testimony after testimony, you see what happens when you open your mouth? Now I got Jameson's story to share. I've diversified cash flow. Jameson, you got a quick minute to share your testimonial? Hey, Herschel, you got a quick minute to share your testimonial? I got somebody that wants to learn more about the credit restoration service. See, this is the value that we bring to a training when we open up our microphones and share our story. What an amazing way to see how you can diversify that money, which is, Jameson, you're your own bank now. And you're using the bank's money and you're using your policy's money to pay your debt back. Wow. I'm telling you, I'm excited. So now Alex is the person, and I call her a person because she really acts like a person that you can ask all the questions of any service that you want to implement and start to learn how to use Alex. Now I got an Alex testimonial too because I use her for three-way calls. And as a matter of fact, Ron, we did a three-way call with him the other day on keys to home ownership. And she was so clear with the information. So we got plenty under our belt. We just got to learn to implement. Now, let's talk about money-making activities. Okay, so again, going back to what Dr. G.W. Parker said, if I look back, when I came into MWR and I would have had this tool, we would have duplicated ourselves much more faster, but it's never too late. So what am I doing now? I'm using the links that are right here. So how many of you have already activated this process right here? Because when you go into your back office, it gives you assignments of what you need to do to have this page pop up the minute you go into your portal. This right here is your money making tool. And as you can see, it's in order. Quick links. The first one is the invitation link. And it's so simple to use it, especially when you know that you are doing your assignments. It gives you, again, going back to your back office, activating services, it gives you so much leverage to know that you have Alex now that you can talk about. And this right here, you got to be using it. And this part here gives us an assignment, a daily assignment. And right here, which is the daily activity checklist. So the only thing that you got to do is share this link. And if you ask me how I'm sharing it and how is it that I'm having results, very simple. I have my traditional conversation, family, occupation, recreation, and then motivation, right? Because I need to find their motives first. That's why we talk about family with anybody that I talk to. Strangers, my own family, occupation, work. We always talk about the traditional things. By the way, is where I shift gears, like towards the end of the conversation or a friendly connection. Listen, I came across something that I'm truly excited about and I'm taking it for a test drive. Would you be willing to help me out? Whether it's through a text, WhatsApp, a face-to-face conversation, I'm always using my first link to take things for a test drive. Would you help me out? I'm taking a system for a test drive. If I send you a link and I wait for a response, if they say yes, I send it out. The minute that I send it out, okay, I also tell them exactly what they need to do. As soon as you receive the text link, put your name, last name, email, and your phone number. By doing that, I'm going to receive a notification. I just want to make sure the system is working properly, and I need that kind of help. Whether it's a stranger, whether it's someone that I know, it doesn't matter. I make the same proposition, and I don't care who says yes or who says no. I just need to know who's going to implement it to see if I have a coachable person that I could work with. And if I do and I see their name pop up, well, here's the story. Monday, I have an appointment with our CEO, and this is a gentleman. His name is Roberto, again from Texas. They have a company, an amazing company that they do a debt negotiation with. And the reason why I'm sharing this story is because Roberto used to work in the practice company that we were with back in the day. So I put him in one of my broadcast lists in WhatsApp, which is what we taught last Saturday. He responded not by responding to me. He responded when he received my invitation after 2 years of prospecting him. He received my invitation. He put his name, last name, phone number, and email. So when I saw his name pop up, I tell my wife, look, Roberto put in his information. And I go, hey, let me give him a call. So I ended up calling him. He goes, Fernando, yes, you've been talking to me about this for so many years, but I think right now I see exactly what is it that you're doing. So long story short, he came in, he saw the presentation, he studied everything to the T and shared this with his team partner. And he goes, Fernando, we have a debt negotiation tool program, and we have about 850 active customers, and we're saving them from what they're paying on their credit cards and all their bills, collections, hospital bills. We're saving them 50% per month. Meaning, if they're paying $1,500 on debt, we bring it down to about $750. We want to be able to show them what they need to do with that money. And also, I see that you guys have the credit restoration tool, very similar to the company that we were with. I said, yeah, they need that service too. I said, okay. And the other thing is, he goes, besides that, they also need, the silver precious metals. I saw that too. So he started to ask me all this bunch of questions to the point that now they're interested in getting our membership to share with their customers just by sending the invitation link. And Monday, we do have an appointment with our CEO, him and his team partner. And they run their company from Costa Rica. They're bilingual. They go, you know what? We got a bilingual team. They speak English, they speak Spanish. I just need to put this game together because we want to add more value to what we have. So you tell me, how did I do it? By implementation. Okay. So you gotta share the link, share it somehow and put it in the hands of people, because the next step is what? He saw my site already. He's ready to join. So Monday, to wrap things up, I want them to get to know our CEO. So we have an appointment at 11 a.m. our time to be able to share our incredible Make Wealth Real platform to wrap things up. So we got tools, we got leaders, we got the CEO, we got everybody, and we get them involved, okay, to do this. And right after that, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring Dr. G.W. Parker to share his testimony so they can know that he's the person that I'm working with directly. See, we don't achieve things by luck. It's by a lot of implementation. My wife can tell you that I'm in my lab trying to put things together to make things work. You know why? Because I am very uncomfortable all the time, because I'm not where we need to be. How many of you are uncomfortable? Put fire emojis if you're uncomfortable. Put fire emojis. If you're uncomfortable, we're doing the right thing. But if you're comfortable, we're not doing the right thing. Okay? So I'm glad to see that we have 18 now that came in. All right, so here's what we see. Implementation again. Decide your income level. And I'm going to have to ask again for participation, okay? And there's 18 of us here right now as we speak. What is your income level that you want to achieve or that you see happening realistically in the next 90 days here on the compensation plan? From $5 a day all the way up to $15,000 a day. And I would love to see participation in the chat of your dream income level. Where do you see yourself on the compensation plan? And I'm not going to move from this page until I see at least 50% of the 18 putting a text in the chat. Let me see here. I'm going to open it up. All right, I see fire emojis, but I still don't see a number yet. Okay, all right, there we go. I love it. Okay, let me just kind of go back up. All right, so David Sundin, $100 per day. So that's about 90 memberships. Martha put 15,000. Oh my goodness, the pressure is on. You got it, babe. Samuels, Ron Samuels, 21,000. Okay, hold on. And that's 21,000 Ron Samuels per month, right? So let me see here. I want you guys to start connecting the dots with the compensation plan. So, Ron, are you looking at 1,200 memberships? Is that monthly you were referring to the 21,000? Just want to make sure. Okay, I don't want to misplace the communication here. So, Ron Samuels, the microphones are open. Feel free to open them. Dave Gibson, $5,000 a month. So we're looking at maybe like a 5-star, between 5-star and regional director. You
Yes,
see how
sir.
I connect?
That's the level, 5-star RD.
There we go. So you see what I'm, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate that, David. I really do. So think about this. Basically, we're talking about 180 memberships. And you know what the cool thing about all this is, David? Because I remember when we got there, is we only found a handful of leaders that run with it. Boom, and they exploded. And we got into the 5-star. I think it was, see, David, you could be here in the next 90 days. 90 days, the most, 90 days, okay? By finding a handful of people that see the vision the way you see it and multiply to 180. This is the good thing about what we have. Anna, as a matter of fact, Anna Rodriguez achieved 5-star in a month, right
Wow.
before us, David, before Martha and I.
Wow.
In a month, she was already a 5-star.
See,
So
now
she put the
you're giving me new neurons after our reading, because my vision it's there, but now you're saying now I got to start thinking about it and building those new neurons so that it comes to life. It's real.
exactly, David.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, make wealth real. So I got inspired by Anna Rodriguez because she became a $200 a day regional director in 90 days. I was like, what? And Martha and I looked at each other and we're like, what the hell have we been doing? Man, she exploded out of the gate. And as a matter of fact, up until now, she's still the strongest organization we have. Eric Wilderness within that organization. Lou Brown, leaders, heavy hitters, they're there. That's the strongest team that we have. So just think about that. You don't need to do it all by yourself. You just got to have enough strength to endure the process of all the naysayers and keep plugging in the numbers until you win. Okay, so this Monday we have this connection, and I'm trusting the process that this connection is going to be the connection to explode another team. Meanwhile, we are holding the structure ourselves by going wide. See, we go wide. We don't rely on Anna. They're doing their thing. Eric's doing his thing. So I am responsible of my strength of my other teams until we rebuild back. Have people quit? Yes. Have teams gone? Yes. Tell me what business doesn't lose people. Every business loses people. So when you have a recruit that leaves, don't go with them. That's the problem with most people. When the recruit that told them that they were going to be the biggest producers, that they were going to bring thousands of people, and then they quit, don't quit with them. Don't. Show them that they left. And when you show them that they left and they see you succeed, guess what they're going to be thinking? I missed the boat, man. Jeez. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to happen. I tell you that because that's exactly how this works. So let me see here on the compensation plan. Man, we see more people getting connected. I love this. All right, so we got David Sandin 100, and then Ron Samuels 21,000, Dave Gibson 5,000. Eric's $1,000 a day. All right, and then let me see here. Yeah, I'm trying to. This keeps bouncing. But I love seeing the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. And honest truth, this to me is you are giving life to your goals by exposing them here vividly on a conversation. Ron Samuels, 1,200 memberships. There you go, buddy. Sharon, $10,000 a month. Okay, I need to. There's Lynn with the compensation plan. So $10,000 a month. Let's make that more clear because I want you to start connecting the numbers. So when she tells me 10,000, I'm thinking 480 memberships to 750. So she's doing a between number. Is that what I'm hearing? Sharon? Or maybe you're thinking $9,000 guaranteed residual income and the $1,000 extra on bonuses, right? You see how I connect the compensation plan?
I don't know.
So
I just know I need $10,000 a month. That's all
there
I
you
know.
go, Sharon.
I just went
You
through
open up your
30,000.
microphone.
If I went through $30,000 in a couple of months, then I know. And I
Oh,
was on vacation. And so if I know that I need, then I know I need that 10,000 a month minimum just to start. That's just starting where I'm at right now. And you said
okay.
that's about 480 memberships.
Yes. And you know what the cool thing about this, Sharon, is you don't need to bring the 480. Go find a handful of leaders that see what you see, and you're gonna recognize them because they're gonna show up the way you're showing up.
Well, I've been with Coach T for what, 5 years. I've been in MWR when he started. I just been in and out, in and out. I gotta stay focused and add this to my other financial businesses. That's all. So that's why I'm
Sharon,
here.
I'm proud of you. I am so proud of you because sharing your story has enlightened me. See, you're a marathoner, and you know for a fact that you whatever you're doing, once you light it up a little bit and make the shift, but you have never quit in and out, as you alluded to. And let me ask you a question, Sharon, since we're opening up this conversation. What keeps you here?
My downline keeps me here. I'm like the best kept secret because some powerful players are on my downline, and I gotta get the other leg moving. That's it. So I can't give up my downline. It's very powerful. And I'm not gonna mention no names, but it's very powerful. That's why I'm still
Wow.
here.
You guys have heard her story. See, this is a storytelling. Okay. And Lynn, I hope we're connecting the dots as we talked about yesterday. Exposure. We gotta hear you. We gotta hear what holds you here, why you here, why are you in the training. We need to hear that. Sharon, thank you so much for sharing. You see what she sees? Her downline. And what did she say? I just gotta balance my team. And who is responsible for that? Herself. By plugging in, she's learning the skill where if she has a team that is already exploded, she knows that she can bring two more. And by bringing two more, this compensation plan of $10,000 is hers, which is $9,000 plus some bonuses there.
Yeah,
So that's it.
I get emails like every day, and I'm calling Trevor and Shirley like, yo, what's going on? They was like, get back active. You better stay in. It's time to work it because your downline is serious, and they not playing. My downline are leaders. They not playing. But I've been in MWR, I believe, since what, 2020, 20 some. I've been around, you know. So yes, I'm still
Wow.
here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it. You have heard what keeps her here. And she knows she's got a downline that if she balances that leg and put two other legs to compete with that one leg, that's it. Her $10,000 a month are going to be here. Okay, so whatever your testimony is and whatever holds you here, you got to keep implementing. So here's what I would do if I were you, Sharon. That little template on the right upper corner, we call it launching. Tell your upline, I want to relaunch my business. I want to celebrate the business because relaunching is an opportunity to come back again and expose publicly why you have been here for 5 years. See, I like hearing testimonials. Long-term marathoners like her that don't quit. They keep coming back, and guess what? their upline is holding her accountable. Coach T, he's good at those things, holding people accountable. That's why she's here.
Yeah, because I almost lost my account a couple of times as well. So you don't ever want to get inactive and dispute anything on MWR's charges because I accidentally disputed and the bank refunded me my money back from MWR. Now all this time, I know I got a serious downline, so I had to fight. I had to wait. It took Trevor and them to help me to get my account back active, or I would have lost my spot. So I ended up paying something. I think I had to pay like $600, but they did grant me back my position. I almost lost that powerful position. So if any advice I could give is to always make sure if you're disputing something on your bank statement, do not dispute MWR because it's other people involved when we dispute drawbacks and you know what I'm saying? Because banks, MWR are using vendors. So when you charge back MWR, you're charging back basically the power plays that we have to provide the service that we're using. So that's one thing I did learn. I could tell you that you don't want to lose your position, especially if you've been in the game like a couple of years, but you inactive or you go back active. You know what I'm saying? Because of whatever financial situation, everybody have a different, situation. So that tip right there, I could give you, brother. Okay.
Another tip. Thank you so much, Sherry. You see, it cost her $600 to get right back in the game, and it was probably a mistake that happened because it could happen. You lose your card and something like that happens, and all of a sudden, I had a client that had the same issue, but he knew the value of what we have done with the membership, and he paid the fine. It was like $580 or something. But he goes, man, I made a mistake. I don't know. MWR was the one that I was disputing everything. He goes because I lost my card and I saw some charges that I didn't recognize. But he ended up establishing himself because he already had silver. His credit score had gone up like 127 points. Sharon, can you believe that? So he goes, "What am I doing?" And he even wrote an apology email to our company. So
Yeah, I wrote an apology email as well to the company. And I've been through the same thing he went through. So I'm hearing it.
yep,
And thank you for reminding me because I own a tax business myself and I do credit restoration. So I'm really busy and I believe in the next 2 weeks I'll be able to do a relaunching of my business so I can grow those legs because every day I'm getting somebody new on my downline. Like I'd be shocked, like, wow, almost every single day somebody's joining my downline. So I do understand the value and the
wow,
services. We need these services. MWR is only getting better and better and better. And most people
wow,
really need financial literacy because they never taught us this in school.
exactly. I'm telling you, what a story, and I love hearing stories. So Sharon, I got your story now to share with others. You see, I'm picking up on Herschel's, also yours, Dr. G.W. Parker. I always use his story. Coach T, I use his story a lot too. So there's so much to be to be happy and excited about to be able to share with people because we're real people making wealth real. All right, so we're about to wrap up, but I just want you to think about launching your business, building your contact list, introduce the tools using short videos, launch your business again, invite your list to celebrate with you, which is what Sharon's going to be doing soon. Follow up using three-way calls. We can use Alex now and get some new folks enrolled. That's it. Get paid, earn momentum bonuses if you're new, enrollment bonuses, and residual income. At the end of the day, this is what I'm here for, and this is what you're all here for. I'm assuming residual income and passive income. All right. So, next page. Fundable 360. By the show of hands, how many of you have had already your consultation with Fundable 360 or have already an LLC, corporation? If you don't have your LLC or corporation yet, I'm helping a couple of my team partners, directors, establishing their LLCs and their EIN numbers so they can get scheduled to do a Fundable 360 appointment. And if you have done it, put it on the chat. I've done it. How did you like what they shared with you? Just put it on comments, okay? It's important because your testimonial is crucial so we can all hear it, all right? So Fundable 3, I've done my appointment. I'm working with the Fundable 360 platform, okay? And I'm letting my business fund the investment. I'm letting my business fund the investment by referring other folks. Have I made Fundable 360 income? You better believe it. Okay, and I'm telling you that money is going to be reinvested back, which is money that we're not touching for Fundable 360. But I've had my appointment. Okay, I have precious metals without Fundable 360 yet. I'm investing in precious metals. I'm receiving our passive income, our residual income. But now we're going to start leveraging on Fundable 360's opportunity. So if you're not doing that, it's time to get it done. Let me see the chat, see who's done their appointment. Thank you, Lid, for sharing the compensation plan there in the chat. 90-day, $20 per day. Okay, Jameson, that's what I'm talking about, brother. It's $15,000 daily. Martha, fire emojis. Awesome story. Rand Samuels. All right, you got your hand up there. I have done my appointment. Good job, my friend. I have my marching orders. Yes, sir. Sharon, yes, I did it. Mario Robles, I've done my appointment and have followed up the schedule up to schedule. Good job. Maria Robles. Sorry about that. Maria Robles. David Sanden, have started the process. Good job, David. David Gibson, yes, I've done my F360 appointment. All right, you see? This is what I'm talking about. Participation. So we're all on our way to doing the things that we need to do. Okay, all right. So the other thing is you get compensated for $100. So if you want your Fundable 360 to be funded by referrals, all you got to do is write it down. I got my number here. Refer a business, small businesses, or anybody that is interested in getting funded. 8. So $400 times 8 is $3,200. And if some of your direct leaders are also doing it, they earn their $400. You're going to earn your $400 on your own, plus $100 override on your frontline leaders that go out there and do Fundable 360. And if you are a 3-star, it's a $30 override to Infinite. Anyone on your team doing it. And it feels good to see Fundable 360 money, commissions. I've seen that and I'm piling it up. I'm just a few away to make it happen and pull the trigger and making sure that MWR funds everything for me. I don't pay for the membership. I'm reinvesting my residual income back to precious metals. Now Fundable 360 is going to be the next topic eventually to share the story of where we're going. Okay, so but you got to get to 3-star to break the entire compensation plan all over the place. Fundable 360, MWR residual income, which is $50 a day, plus all the bonuses it pays out for you to build your organization. So that's the magical number, 3-star. All right, so here are some of the steps to take in order for you to get your $50,000. Fund your own growth, build real business credit, strengthen your financial profile, scale using OPM, other people's money, and that's what I'm doing. I'm using MWR's money to eventually be fully funded to do the Fundable 360 credit money too. Freedom through tangible assets. At the end of the day, we're about to wrap up. This is where most of our money should go, in precious metals. The minute that you have shifted expenses back into income, activated the compensation plan, Fundable 360, put your money right here. This is where your money should go because right here, this is your retirement passive income. It's like owning real estate, right? So you can have a little balance of real estate, rent out properties maybe, and then having some Fundable 360, having your residual income coming from MWR from your organization. Imagine that. Just think about that for a quick minute and let me ask you a question. If I asked a question on residual income and I saw the compensation plan already being shared in our chat, what do you want precious metal to pay you on passive income monthly? Put the number. My goal, just so you know, is to be able to have precious metals compete against the residual income of MWR. That's the goal. And if that is your goal, we're on the same page. So imagine having a passive income. So say, for instance, And I'm going to put Randy as an example, okay? Randy is generating, if I'm not mistaken, Dr. G.W. Parker, correct me if I'm wrong, he's generating $1,200 a month in passive income. So if you put if you put me to think, what does that mean in the residual income aspects? He's getting paid like a 3-star executive director, $1,500 a month in residual income. So is that what he's generating, Dr. G.W. Parker?
That is correct. Actually, it's a little bit more than that, Fernando. But you're in the right. You're in the ballpark.
Gotcha. Okay, buddy. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
So
Randy has not. He's never stopped purchasing silver. He even with the lump sum that he started with, he's buying silver every day.
Wow. You know what I can think about, Dr. G.W. Parker? As we grow our residual income through our compensation plan, precious metals, here's what I think about. He purchased precious metals when he invested $100,000 on how many what was the dollar amount per ounce?
I think it was that 38, maybe.
Listen, guys, $38. How many of you are checking precious metals every day? Yesterday I saw it. I think it was like $76, $77. Is that correct, Dr. G.W. Parker? That's what it was, right?
Yes,
Something
sir.
like that. Okay. So $38 plus 77. Thank you, Dr. G.W. Parker. So that means
Hey, Fernando, can I
yeah.
just add this as it relates to Randy? So, guys, if you haven't done it, if you've got at least $50 sitting in your MWR back office as it relates to what you've earned on silver, it's got to be a minimum of 50. You can go back there and activate your e-wallet. That e-wallet, that payout comes at the end of the month. That e-wallet is going to give you the opportunity to transfer those funds into a checking or savings account. So it's going to operate much like the current e-wallet that you have, but totally different. This is a separate e-wallet for precious metals. So Randy is anticipating at the end of the month to cash out about $3,800. That's a quarterly payout, right? $3,800. Now his ultimate goal, Fernando, and he and I talk every day, he wants about 2,500 ounces of silver. He's projecting that will pay him $3,000 a month. That's $9,000 a quarter that he generates from precious metals. That's his goal. He's got about 1,700, almost 1,800 ounces right now. So guys, it's real.
That's crazy. Now, thank you so much, Dr. G.W. Parker. So I want you to think about this. So he's generating $1,266 per month. He's about to receive $3,800 on 3 months. So he's getting paid like a 3-star executive director with passive income. You see why it's important to build your residual income and your passive income. So as I alluded to earlier today, Dr. G.W. Parker, you want to be able to get the two platforms compensating you equally match. Now I know my plan. In order for me to be able to get compensated $6,000 a month, I would have to have maybe like what, $500,000 worth of precious metals investments. It's worth it, ladies and gentlemen. That's our passive residual income. So at the end of the day, to wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, go to your back office, do your assignments. I've learned and I've studied this training right here. I know it's 43 minutes long, but the people that know the game of what MWR has to offer, it's like you having a gold mine sitting in your back office. And all you have to do basically is start digging the dirt. You gotta dig the dirt. Don't get tired. Click on this, click on that, do this, do that. Click on everything that you can because MWR is a monopoly game that you gotta learn to play. Because if you don't learn to play the money game, guess what's gonna happen? The money game is gonna continue to play you. And I'm tired of that. Aren't you? You gotta learn to play the money game. And there's no more real game to play than the make wealth real game at the tip of your fingers in your back office. That back office is treasure. Especially when you start to rank up on positions and you start to see your residual income, I guarantee you, if you had 36 active members, you would be in your back office 10 times a day. So act as if you already have 36 memberships, 90 memberships. 1,200 memberships. Act as if, go in your back office, and if you see a big donut, it's not MWR's fault. That's your fault. If you don't want to see a big donut no more, activate yourself. Get trained, get uncomfortable, because nothing happens in the comfortable world. Okay. So this is pretty much, what I'm wrapping up with, which is go back to the back office, go to the training section and sit down for 43 minutes. And I'm talking to everybody, but I know a handful is going to do it. Maybe one or two of you are going to do it. But everybody's here hearing the same information. It's up to you to run with it. Or guess what's going to happen, right? I'm telling you, if you don't play the money game is going to continue to play you. So success is a journey, not a destination. Success is a journey. So your MWR platform is a journey, not a destination. You got to always go in there. Your list of prospects is a journey, not a destination. The doing is often more important than the outcome. So if you're not doing, don't expect anything in return because you're not doing. Success is a journey, not a destination. That doing is often more important than the outcome. Okay. So on that note, we've done what we can today to be able to position our thinking, get back in the things that we need to do. But next Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you, by the show of hands before we leave, are taking treasure with you today? How many of you are taking treasure with you today? And if you are, bring one more person next Saturday. If you were impacted by today's training, just bring one more person next Saturday, and we're going to round it up to a number 50. That's the magical number. All right. So we appreciate you all. I see Coach T is here with us. Oh my goodness. We're just talking about Coach T. Nothing bad. Always good, my friend. You have a team of leaders that is just an amazing way to hear their stories. And wow, I'm impressed by Sharon's stories, as a matter of fact. And I already see what you're doing, holding her accountable to what MWR has in store for her and her future. So, Coach T, $10,000 a month is our goal to make here. All right, everyone. Take care. We'll see you all at the top. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Bye now. Let me unmute everyone. I think you're all unmuted.
Thank you for your time. Thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much.
you. Have a good day. Appreciate you.
Happy Saturday.
Orlando.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.
You too, David. Bye, David. David,
Bye.
Bridget. Yep.
That's it. That's
Bye.
me.
All right, buddy. Take
All
care.
right.
Bye.
Appreciate you,
Bye-bye.
Fernando.
Ron Samuels, my brother. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you
Likewise.
for the good lesson.